How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI. You guys know how much I love this play. I love the risk to reward ratio. And due to the fact we are getting close to the market opening up on Tuesday, I want to make sure you guys are prepared and you get the latest update. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. I want to make sure you guys are prepared. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be getting into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $11.42, being down 0.78%. On the low, it tested $11.21, and then on the high, testing $11.50. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 1.628 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 3.156 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and we see a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 47.19. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, but we are above the 100-day. And of course, like I was telling you guys, I love adding to my position when this stock falls below $11. But you know what? I might have to start changing things up. You can see here we're doing a great job riding the trend above that 100-day. You can see on the Friday our low is at $11.21. So for the coming week, I would love for us to go back and make that test where we had resistance at $11.50. Because passing $11.50 and getting to the 21-day EMA where it is at $11.56, this is where I'm going to look for that momentum. And you can see we did see some momentum on January the 13th and ended up seeing a high of around $11.95. And we've already confirmed that $12 is a psychological area. There's a lot of resistance. People use this area, or I should say traders use this area to sell out of their positions when it gets close. But we know if we could reclaim the 50-day at $12.08, then we could look forward to seeing a move where we can go to the 1230s and then seeing if we can get past the 1250s. But when we take a look at the risk to reward ratio, I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, since it is a SPAC, we know that $10 is going to be the floor. So if you can get close here right to the 100-day in regards to an entry, so maybe it might be around 1110 or around 1120 of where it tested on the Friday, you are not doing too bad whatsoever, considering the fact you could be seeing a good amount of upside here. So let's see if GGPI can continue the current uptrend that it's on, but I will definitely keep you guys inside of the loop. Now let's move into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for GGPI. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So for this year, we could see there have been some positions taken by institutions from the filings. So we have Koshinki Asset Management that purchased 500 shares. We also have Sycamore Asset Management that purchased just over 417,000 shares. We also have Magnetar Financial that purchased just over 3.9 million shares. We also have F&Y Investment Advisors LLC that purchased 100 shares, and we also have Canton Hathaway LLC that purchased 3,700 shares. So we see institutions loading up from filings. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 31.56%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is around 268,209 shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 250,000, updated 1 minute ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.48%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 13th, it was at 33.38. And then for the close of the 14th, it's at 31.56. So what this tells us, this stock does have short squeeze potential. The criteria that we normally look for is 21% or higher, and since it is at 31.56, this is why we see a lot of volatility inside of the stock. So now let's go into the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for GGPI. So we can see here on the inflow it's at 3,746, and then on the outflow it's at 3,072. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 226, on the medium it was 2,709, and then on the small it is 812. Taking a look at the outflow side, we could see on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 2,313, and then on the small it was 759, giving us an overall inflow day. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for the 14th, for the Friday that just passed, it was at 226, and we also had inflow days on the 13th, the 11th, and as well as the 10th, and we had 0 on the 12th. So we see there's definitely a lot of buying on the institutional / fund side. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. Then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, we have more buying than we had selling, and this could potentially represent institutions and funds like I said previously. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.63%, and this is not too bad whatsoever. This play is continuing to look good. Remember when I was telling you guys I like when we can get a position in below $11, but we see it is on a solid uptrend and many are still holding on to their shares, and this is why we're seeing strength inside of the stock. And considering it is a SPAC play, there's a lot of insurance in regards to that $10 floor. Let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for GGPI, that's going to be bringing Polestar public. I still love this play a lot. Many of you know, as far as my strategy when it comes to buying shares, I like it when it goes below $11, anywhere in that $10 range. But since we are seeing a lot of strength, it is riding the 100 moving average fairly well, we have to take into consideration of the fact we might have to start adding some shares at higher prices. So I'm looking at around $11.10 and at the max $11.20, and then look out for further pullbacks. We already know the current environment that we are in regards to higher interest rates and so on. This stock could pull back more, and I want to make sure you're prepared for that, and there's no reason for you to have any FOMO. But like I said, if it continues this strong trend, I'm just going to be looking to add to my position when it's in the low $11 range. The areas that we're looking out for, I want to see at least at the bare minimum $13 before the business combination. I know I am being very conservative with my estimates. We have a resistance area right at 12. Anytime we get there, there's a lot of selling pressure. We also have to keep in mind there's a chance that this stock could be heavily manipulated. It does not trade a lot of volume whatsoever. So when you have that factor in place, this is why you can see there could be a lot of forces behind the way the stock actually moves. So this is why I say do your homework, do your due diligence before jumping into this play. Also, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information, we could see institutions have loaded up on shares, and this play does have short squeeze potential. And also from what we saw in the order flow, there's a lot of inflow coming into the stock. So this is why I say this must be one of the best plays out in the market right now if you're looking for somewhere to say, well, you know what, there's a good chance I'm going to get a good pop here. And at the same time, as far as the loss is concerned, it is not that bad due to that $10 floor because of it being a SPAC. And that's why you guys will be prepared and you'll be in early when the stock really does run up and we get more news in regards to the business combination, because it happens over and over again when it comes to SPAC plays, especially this play since it is in the EV space. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I can't wait to see how it performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.